Greetings sailors and welcome back to another live recorded video. I did actually attempt to do a replay today. I got as far as recording it and then tried to scrape together enough brain cells to then, edit it, do a commentary. Didn't happen, didn't sleep well particularly last night, so I'm going to do this instead. I thought I would take a look at the HMS Dido, which is one of the two Mediterranean tokens ships you can get, and you basically have to choose which one you're going to get because it's personal challenges, isn't it? We're on to the second round now, and you could get 100 tokens total. One of the ships is 70 tokens, so you could in theory get both, but you're going to have to buy at least two of the 2.5k gold packages, which makes it only very slightly cheaper than outright buying a tier 6 premium cruiser. So it is just about a little bit where are we? Gibraltar Pillars, that's the one. It's just about a little bit cheaper, but so you have the choice of either the Dido or the Canarius, and I think I'll just wait for the Canarius at some point. I'm not super keen on getting it, considering it's an AP only heavy cruiser with a limited range. I mean, it seems not terrible, but yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it's going to be quite my cup of tea. It's the first Spanish ship, which is great, but in terms of how it actually plays, from what I've heard from other people, it's not that interesting to me. So what I'll probably do is spend some of the remaining tokens on one of these containers instead and actually hope for a Forest Sherman. Probably won't be one. There's only like a 5% chance that it will be a Forest Sherman. I mean, if it was going to drop one of the tier 10 ships, for me it would have to be the Forest Sherman. I have everything else, but it's much more likely to be just some signals or coal or something. So yeah, we'll see. One never knows, but I'm not holding out hope that I definitely will get the Forest Sherman that way. It's now available for coal as well. It's a fair bit of coal, and I'm going to have to save for it. Now, this isn't actually the only version of the Dido we have in-game. We also have the Ramat at tier 6 on the Pan-Asian tree, and it's really not that different. It is a bit different, though. It's got a shorter main battery range, but you do also get an extra second reload, so 7.5 versus the 8.5 on the Dido, which feels a little on the long side for what is it, 5.25-inch guns. But yeah, if you get smoke these days, you're unlikely to have a fast rate of fire, unless you're Russian. Something cough cough, Smolensk cough. They do both have smoke, it's worth pointing out, but Ramat has the Pan-Asian smokes, so they dissipate quicker. But I think it also gets one more by default, or have I got... no, it's 3. Okay, yeah, 3 plus Superintendent is 4, and I think Dido with Superintendent only gets... So that is with Superintendent, so that only has... Oh no, wait, that's got 6, but it's much shorter. I forgot that it was much shorter. Yeah, it's like the tier at Belfast, isn't it? Yeah, duh. Why did I forget that? Anyway, so Ramat actually has the longer lasting smokes, but they're still Pan-Asian smokes. So 70-second dispersion time, but it's 100 seconds from when you first start smoking, kind of thing. So it's still it's a decent amount of time. And to be honest, overall, even though it's got the shorter range, I think so far I've had better games in the Ramat. Even though it doesn't even have quite a 10-point captain in it yet. I mean, it's not even fully as concealed as it could be, which is actually slightly better than the Dido, but of course that's offset by it having 2 kilometers less firing range, 1.5, 1.6, something like that. So 200 meters better concealment is quite heavily offset. Anyway, I will be playing the Dido because that's one of the ships that is probably more relevant than the Ramat right now. But even if you do choose to get the Canarius, you can still grind for the Ramat, and you'll get something not unlike the Dido experience. Probably the main difference between the two is the deep water torps, which are, functionally the deep water torps obviously can't torpedo destroyers, and it's the difference in the smoke style. In terms of the actual gameplay between them, otherwise, you definitely have to do a bit more of the hit and run in this thing with its short smokes. You can't just sit and pew pew in the smoke, because you've got the longer reload and the much shorter duration smoke. Right, this is a tier 8 game, so yeah, this is not going to be fun. I mean, the difference between 14 kilometers and 12.5 kilometers when you're in this kind of matchmaking, it's not that big, to be fair. So yeah, I don't think that actually makes that big of a difference. Right, let's get going. There's also a carrier in play, which is not nice. That's actually an area where Ramat is better. It has better DPS and better AA range than the Dido. So, yeah. This is more of a kind of a side grade, as it were. It is definitely different enough to be appreciably its own ship, but it's not different enough to be a radically different experience, if that makes any sense. They're different flavours of the same thing, essentially. Only one destroyer is going to be interesting. Fair few cruisers. They do have a radar cruiser, so that will be a thing to watch out for with my smoke. So we'll see. I guess it depends which side they get spotted on. Only one tier 8 battleship per side, and the enemy tier 8 is the Monarch. But the Yukon's also got 15-inch guns. The West Virginia's actually got 16-inch guns, so yeah. I mean, it's not like this thing's heavily armoured, so all of those battleships could potentially do me a right nasty. Kirkdoon division, that's slightly unusual. It's not exactly the strongest of tier 8, tier 6 cruisers even, so yeah, why you would want to take 2 of them out in a division, not entirely sure. So this is Jaws, West Virginia, Monarch's on this side, Mackinson, Tallinn is on the other side. Okay. Everything else is well out of... that was an odd little sound bug there. Sounded like something was dropping right next to me, and of course it wasn't. Weird. I might be able to be sneaky enough to... Oh, I bet it's the Dutch airdrops. Why does it sound like it's right next to me? That's very strange. I might be sneaky enough to maybe get this cap, but a smoke isn't going to cover the full duration. So, yeah. We know the enemy destroyer, the enemy kid is on the other flank, so I should be able to out-sneak most, if not all, of their cruisers. Oh, well, okay. Talon killed the Cossack, but the Cossack killed the kid. I'm going to position myself to make a quick getaway. And we're approaching the point where I've got enough smoke time to complete the cap, which I think might be quite useful because nobody's capping. Like, having both teams having lost their destroyers, nobody's capping D, but we do have more ships over there than them. It looks like they've got a lot of ships over here, so I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be sticking around for ages on this flank.
Enemy battleship detected.
So Right, given... Let's spend a smoke.
Smoke
So
generator
it's not the
activated.
most high priority target ever, but we'll get some damage in. You do at least have okay-ish penetration without having IFHE with the 133mm shells. I think it's what, 21mm? I've not had the opportunity to try out the AP that much though. What are you doing, Straws? Taking some torpedoes, I hope. Let's move. It's definitely not going to be one of my most high energy recordings ever. I mean, I think yesterday's just been depressing. I mean, hey, at least the Russian forces waited until after International Women's Day to flatten the maternity hospital, right? Yeah. Anyway. Let's see if we can take this Straws down. It's a bit of damage, nothing spectacular. I don't want to take any huge risks here. Although, I'm going to have to get closer if I want to do more. Because everything else is heading away, which is mildly annoying. There aren't that many cruisers at tier 6 with actually a decent range. There are a couple. I think the Trento, which is possibly tier for tier one of my more enjoyable Italian cruisers. Oh, hello, Helena. Partly because, if I remember correctly, I mean, the Zara looks great, but the range is exactly the same, and then doesn't the Amalfi have, again, the exact same range? It's like, it doesn't increase for 3 tiers, which is kind of a bit painful by the time you get to tier 8. But it's good for tier 6, and then it's, you know, really not good at tier 8. And the Nuremberg actually got a pretty decent range as well. Well, I mean, this isn't great, but it's not an overly bad range for this tier. There's a fire on the Helena. Oh, look, it's the torture boat. Okay, well, I was slightly worried about this flank because we had like half the enemy team here, but oh, hello, Kaga. Well, half the enemy team decided that, you know, 3 or 4 tier 6 ships was frankly much too scary and has now just run away. I wasn't even properly paying attention to that. Wow, that's quite something. Okay.
Victory is in
They're just retreating to the next map at this point. To be fair, this isn't the first game I've had like this today. I've played a couple of rounds of Dirigible Derby just because it's a quicker game mode. And oh boy, one of them was very quick indeed. We sank, I think, 2 enemy ships, and that was it. It was over in something like 8 minutes. It was kind of bad.
Smoke generator activated.
There was like 2 or 3 ships actually trying to do something about the keeping the airship moving, and the rest were just about 3 or 4 squares behind,
Smoke screen set.
doing absolutely nothing at all. So that was a nice gift of a win to the enemy team. Right, I think the fighters must be spotting that cargo. Some enemy cargo planes. Might actually get to use my defensive. You know what? Sure.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
Is in sight.
Right. Never mind, he's down. I don't know if we're going to get close enough to use torpedoes. I mean, we might. The problem we're doing that is... I mean, you could technically stealth torp in the Ramat. 9.5 kilometer torps versus 9 kilometers concealment, but you definitely can't in this thing. And oh boy, it does not have the armor. It's like trying to torpedo rush someone without the benefit of anything in a Leander. Where are you going for? The Normandy.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Where are these planes going? Whoop. There's the Monarch. Oh, we won. Okay, that was a bit of a weird game. Yay, I managed to kill and got a token. Yay. That was... yeah, that was rather one-sided. Well, let's do another one. I probably could have gotten a bit more damage out of that, but I don't think too much more damage, to be honest. Nope, still a tier 8 game, just no tier 8 battleships. Let's see if the AA is better against tier 6 CVs potentially. It was almost a bit weird to be playing a tier 6 on this map in what kind of... I mean, it is a predominantly tier 6 game. I mean, there's one tier 7 and then, what, 3 tier 8s? And everyone else is tier 6. Slightly weird matchmaking. Let's see if we can back up this Cossack, because Cossack is wonderful, but it also has absolutely bloody awful, terrible, no good, non-existent AA. Like, really bad. Not quite as bad as a Sashio, or the Minikaze, or Mutsuki, or, you know, any of the Japanese ones with like double digits DPS. But it's still pretty bad. Right, here it comes. Trigger the Daka Daka.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
You going for me, or are you trying to go for... I guess he's going for me. Although I only just have spotted the Cossack.
Dead ahead.
Right, also running his AA right into the his planes right into the Seral's AA, so yeah. Well, that was not that impressive, to be honest. I mean, he didn't run into any flak, so yeah. Whoa! That was an extraordinarily close blind shot. I mean, that was, as a guess, that was Oh, that was,
Smoke generator activated.
yeah. Okay.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Oh, hello, Vesteros. This is definitely not the most scary ship against to see in a destroyer, because although it's got a fair number of guns, it does not have the reload to go with it.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Torpedoes to port.
Right, that Amalfi is awfully close.
Torpedoes to port.
I'll pull away here without getting spotted. Let's see if my AP is any good against a very broadside Amalfi. Not tried the AP too much, but I've not had. Oh, that was alright. Not had that much course to. This might actually be a ship where having expert loader would be kinda handy. Yeah, that SAP is going to be a bit nasty. Although the AP would be a bit nasty as well. This thing is just not armoured. Oof, that's a big chunk of my health gone. Right, that's got to be the Vesteros that's also capping. Oh, Cossack, I was rather hoping you'd spot. Oh well, at least he's still aerial spotted. Oh, I thought he was turning more south than that. Is he just... Yeah, okay. I mean, sure. That works too. This is a very messy looking mini-map so far. Alright, let's get accelerating. We're about to uncloak. This is definitely not the world's most aggressive Cossack. He's got very good matchmaking going for him. But I guess he was a bit worried about that Amalfi being so close. Of course, SAP does very nasty things to destroyers as well. Right, we are losing control of C with we don't have A. Okay.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Hopefully we'll get B. Oh. There's the Akatsuki. What's down there? Dunkirk, Dido. Don't know if it's worth using a defensive here. This AA power is not impressing me especially. So yeah, for Ramat to perform better than this is it's not a high bar especially. What's the Serov doing? I thought there must have been at least a bit spotted. Oh hello, there's the Vesteros. Right, well we've got a problem. I can either try and go help south with the Akatsuki, but it would require someone to spot the Akatsuki. Or I don't know, I could try and help out everywhere, but it's looking messy right now. So, I don't know where is best to try and help out.
battleship sighted.
No.
Torpedoes to port.
There you are. These are kind of... oh, there we go. That wasn't too bad, actually. Trying to get these at an oblique angle is not the easiest. Especially with someone who's trying to dodge.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
Are we aware of that? Oh, there's a Bayern down there as well. That's not so good. Right, are these planes... I guess they're going for the Queen Elizabeth. Nice, right, he's down. I wonder if he got torpedoes off. Yeah, let's slow down a bit, pop another smoke. I've wasted a precious few seconds with some of the previous ones with not being slow enough to fully make use. Oh, hello, Malfi. Right, you are very slow. I really do have to hit that superstructure to get pens. You can see there's quite a travel time here as well. Almost makes playing the Ramat easier just because you're always going to have less shell travel time to deal with. This is not looking great. Okay, this is really starting to not look that great. Bayern's very healthy also. Right, there we go, some nice French dispersion. Well, nice from my point of view. Yes! Oh, it didn't stick. The angles on the guns are fairly decent. I mean, it's possible to fire to angle out your front guns and actually be able to fire them. If I was our Cossack, I think I would be doing a bit more right now than just kind of sitting in the middle. I'd have been actively hunting that Vesteros. Yes, they have a heal, but you absolutely will win, all things being equal, in a gunfight. Right, I think the Atago needs some help. The Amalfi is going to die. Nothing much can be done there. Somehow not quite, but, you know, well, that's quite the charmed life. That surely can't last. Let's see if we can help with this biome. Yeah, go see Malfi. It's actually the ranger that got the kill. Okay. Right, between me and this Atago, hopefully we can take down this guy. Fires, nice. And then get the cap. Cossack, what are you doing? Just take down the Vesteros. Just gun him down. Oh, that's a nasty hit. Yeah, this is turning into quite the... I think we've pretty much lost this one. If our Cossack had been a little more proactive, Cossack's a very good ship to be top tier in, and it's not like the carrier's been constantly harassing them, so yeah. Alright, they did finally take down that Vesteros. I don't think this Otago is going to last too much longer, though. You do a bit... I mean, this probably would be better with IFHE, but you do a bit have the feeling of playing something like the Leander or the Fiji, where it's over 100 shell hits, 32k damage. I'm thinking IFHE might actually be a real useful skill for this ship. Right, he should be burning out. I really hope he's going to burn out. Just about to get out of range.
The enemy is about to win.
The Dido might be going for the B cap. Oh, that was a poorly aimed like that. I don't know why. He was clearly turning. Well, a fire would be jolly nice. There we go. That should be him. I hope. Yep. Right, here's the dilemma. Do I go for A? Do I try and sink the enemy Dido? Get some... There he is. Should I try some AP? He's not particularly well armoured. We may come back and win this. They've only got the Dido and the carrier left. Nah, he's turning. Took some... Oof! Ate just about all those torpedoes, though. He's not happy. And he's done. Okay. We have 2 of the 3 caps, though. Do I just... Where do we even think the Ranger might be? Well, what can I say? What a very, very messy game. This was fraught. But we have somehow won. Don't know if I've contributed that much. 140 hits, 40k damage. It's going to be 86 non-pens. I think I might need to put my own, like a specific captain in this that has IFHE. Because, yeah, I must... You know what? You know what I should have done? I'm pretty sure my Tier 7 Belfast captain has got IFHE still as a skill. I probably should have just put that captain in here. It's a premium ship. Why didn't I do that? I don't know. Oh, look, the Ranger's coming for me. And yes, there he is. My AA gunner's something to do.
Are on full alert.
Don't over-maneuver and take a torpedo when I don't have to. I'm going to wiggle past that, or have I put myself in line to... Yeah! Oh wait, torpedo! I'm trying to blow at the torpedo to make it go away, but sadly, didn't work. Oh well. Some damage, not fatal.
Solved, sir.
Yeah, so that just shows you quite how useless defensive feels these days. If you're still running defensive on anything other than a very select few ships, like say the Kids, or you know, ships like this where you have literally no choice, where there's nothing else that goes in that slot other than defensive. Yeah. Carriers, they just make everything so much more fun. Who's he going for now? Bayern, maybe? Almost have enough range. We might as well pop the defensive for all the good it does.
Gun crews are on full alert.
Well, it shot down some fighters. So impressive. It's a nice top up to my damage at the end of the game, I suppose. There we go.
Enemy aircraft carrier destroyed.
Yep. So even though it comes with a defensive, you saw exactly what it's worth there. i.e. not that much. Like, how many of these were fighters? Does it even break it down for you? So 6 of the 17 were fighters, so 11 non-fighters for all the time that planes spent in my AA. And for the, what was it, 20k AA damage? Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, I might have to experiment with IFHE and see how that goes. And why didn't I put an IFHE captain on here? I don't know. It's a mystery. It's an eternal mystery. But what I'll do just before I wrap this up is I will try and find my IFHE captain. And Belfast, Frank Tucker. See what that gives us in terms of extra HE penetration. That bumps it up to 27, which on a tier 6 cruiser, 27 mil of HE pen, that's actually kind of useful. So yeah, I might have to play it with more with this captain and see how it compares without IFHE. I mean, obviously it cuts my fire chance in half, but yeah, 5% still, like, that's still kind of basic 5-inch HE fire chance anyway. So anyway, so yeah, this was not the most action filled whatever video, but that's what happens when you record live, and you got to see a bit of what this can do when it's top tier, what it can do or not do when it's bottom tier. And yeah, overall it's interesting. It's not a bad ship, and I think it's probably the more interesting choice over the Canarius overall. So that's it. Hopefully you have enjoyed this bit of live gameplay. If you have, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.